age.
And she hopped on her bicycle and headed to school. We had an elementary school that was just built at the end of our neighborhood, about 4 blocks south of our home, called Coyote Ridge Elementary. And she had been enjoying her time there, and that was in 4th grade. She had just went to school and had a fantastic last day before Thanksgiving break. It was all turkey themed. They did all kinds of Thanksgiving focused events, and she had a great day, an absolutely fabulous day, and went to get on her bicycle and head home. And her friend Sophie saw her and stopped her and said, "Hey, Erica, how about we walk home together?" And she had her bike with her, so they walked home. And she got about halfway home when she finally told her friend Sophie, "Hey, Sophie, I'm going to ride the rest of the way home since I have my bike with me." And so she got on her bike to head home. Erica literally got within 15 pedals of my front door when my neighbor saw her from across the street, and he was walking his daughter home, and they lived about a block away from us on the next street up. And he saw her from across the street, and he's like, "Happy Thanksgiving, Erica." And he started to go down the hill towards his home when he heard a large crash happen behind him. His name was Kevin. Kevin and his daughter Kaylee turned around to see what had happened. And there he had seen my daughter had been struck by another vehicle. He immediately ran over to my home to alert my family to what had happened. At the time that all of this was transpiring, I have to explain where I am and what I was doing because it's pertinent to my story, to our story. I had been multitasking 2 months prior. As a lot of moms do, I was out on a run with my golden retriever and my youngest daughter, Valerie, in her umbrella stroller, and I was swerving as I was coming down the hill. I saw a rock on the sidewalk, and I had to swerve to get out of the way, not have it hit the stroller. Well, it did, and it jarred up the stroller, and down my daughter was flying towards the concrete. I managed to pull her up in the process, and she was not hurt, but I rolled my ankle and broke it in the process. So I had been wearing a walking boot for the last, the 2 months that followed that, and I was at the doctor's office on the day that all of this was happening. And I just gotten the good news from my doctor that, you know, everything was good. I needed to finish wearing the boot for another week or so and past the Thanksgiving holiday. And so I buckled my daughter into the backseat of our minivan and hopped in the car to head home. At the time in 2008, Bluetooth had just kind of come out and was really starting to gain a lot of popularity and attention. The automobile industry and the cell phone companies were really heavily promoting it. And we were like no different than anybody else. My husband and I both owned Bluetooth setups, and so I put mine on and proceeded to make some phone calls on my way home from my doctor's appointment to share my good news with my family that I was all healed up, and I guess you could say I'm kind of an impatient person, so that's why I didn't wait till I got home. And in the process of my 15 to 20 minute drive, I made 3 phone calls. What's interesting about this drive home is that I could not recall my drive at all to you. If you were to ask me what the road conditions were like, what the weather was, what speed I was going, really, truly, to be able to recount the drive, I wouldn't have been able to, because I was focused on the conversations I was having and not focused on the task of driving. When I finally made it home into my neighborhood and pulled in the back entrance to my neighborhood, I thought to myself, it dawned on me as I was finishing a phone call with the last call with my father, and it dawned on me that I was like, how did I get in here today? Why did I come in this back way? That makes no sense. That's a longer route home. Nobody does that. I mean, you take the quickest route home, right? I have 3 entrances into my home and 2 which are much faster. And I ended up taking the back road because I was so concentrated on those calls. I really wasn't even aware of what road I was driving on coming home from my doctor's appointment. As I was finishing my phone call and had this epiphany about how did I get here? How did I manage to get home today? I saw at the end of my street, I live in a neighborhood, the street I live on is a through street. I could see at the very end of my neighborhood that my neighbor was looking for me on the sidewalk, like looking for my car, and was waving me up. So as I got closer to my home, here I could see fire trucks and ambulances and policemen and my neighbor trying to get my attention. So I pulled up and parked and got out of my minivan. My daughter had fallen asleep in the back. And there was the principal of the elementary school, my husband, Kevin, a whole group of kids, neighbors were there, policemen, paramedics. It was chaotic. I had no clue what was going on, why I was the one being asked and rushed to the middle of all of this chaos. As I got closer, I saw a woman out on the sidewalk, and she shouted out to me, I can't believe I didn't see her. Of course I didn't know what she was talking about. As I got closer, I saw my daughter's bike, right? And eventually I finally got to where she was as the crowd cleared, and I could see paramedics were cutting her clothes off. And they don't waste their time. They have these big scissors, and they just cut from the bottom up. And they were cutting all her clothes off so they could see, what was going on. She was lying completely still. And again, this woman shouts out to me on the sidewalk, I can't believe I didn't see her. I was assessing the situation in my head, and I thought to myself, all right, this woman must have hit my daughter. I'm going to go over and calm her down, tell her it's going to be okay. I'm sure Erica's just unconscious. She's probably got a broken arm. 3 times this woman shouted out to me, 3 times. And I kept going over to her. I went over to her twice, and I consoled her, and I said, I'm sure she's going to be okay. She'll be fine. She's going to be fine. And unbeknownst to me, that was the beginning of 2 days of what no parent should ever have to go through. We were sent to a local hospital about 15 minutes away. My husband was asked to stay behind to fill out the accident report. And I went in one ambulance and my daughter in another. And when I got to the hospital, of course I was looking for her, and they said, she's with the doctors right now. I'm sorry, you can't see her. So I was kept behind in a room for 45 minutes by myself with no updates, nobody telling me what was going on, as I was frantically calling family to tell them that my daughter had been hit. And I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know how she was. Finally, I'd had enough. I got out of that room and I ran to the other end of the hospital where I believed she was, and found the room that she was in. And nurses said, I'm sorry, you can't go in right now. And I was like, my daughter's in there and I need to see her, and I've got to know how she is. When I came in, I was astonished to see there were not one or two doctors in the room, but there were 6 doctors. 6 doctors who were rushing around and trying to help my little 9-year-old daughter, who just lay completely motionless. They said, are you her mom? And I said, I am. I need to know how she is. And they said, Mrs. Forney, your daughter's fighting for her life right now. We need to fight for life for Children's Hospital in Denver at this very moment. And I said, all right, I want to come with her. And I said, I'm sorry, there's no room in the helicopter, only for the paramedics and for her. At that moment, my husband had shown up. A neighbor drove in to meet me at the hospital. I went over to my daughter, who this entire time had laid completely motionless from the moment she was struck. And I said, sweetie, Mama's here. Mama's here, you're going to be okay. She moved. She was shuffling around and she didn't open her eyes, but she moved. And they said, oh, that's just her muscles moving, that she really can't hear you. And I said, no, she can hear me. She knows her mama's here. They took our daughter and put her in the helicopter. And we got in the car and our neighbor drove us to Children's Hospital down in Denver. It was an hour-and-a-half drive as we called family and continued to update them on her situation. When we got down to the hospital in Denver, and we were brought to my daughter's room, we found her with what they call a shunt, and it was in her head. It was screwed into her head like a bolt to relieve the pressure from the impact of this 100% preventable car crash. As we had no idea the details of what had happened, but this is what we learned. It happened to my daughter. Karen, our friend who was walking his daughter home that day, was the last person to speak to her. As he turned to go down the hill, and Erica was literally 15 pedals on her bicycle from my front door. That's all she had to do was turn the corner. She was in the bike lane heading towards traffic. When you're a bicyclist, you have the right to go in either direction as long as you're in that bike lane. That's what it's there for you. For any bicyclist, somebody on the rollerblades, roller skaters, that's what that bike lane's for. It's for them. And so she was not at fault. She didn't do anything wrong. She was in the bike lane. A neighbor we didn't know, who lived in our neighborhood just a couple blocks south of our home. She was also not a young person. I need to note that because I don't want there to be this impression that it was a young driver. She was 36 years old. She was a mom of a 1 and 2-year-old boy and girl, a full-time physical therapist, and on her way home from work, I would assume. I never did get that kind of information. But as she was entering our neighborhood, she was not speeding. She wasn't a bad driver. She was going the posted speed limit of 25. When she felt a sudden thud hit her vehicle. The reason that she had no idea that she had struck my daughter was because her eyes were downcast. She was looking over in her passenger seat for something. So she had a foot on the pedal, pushing the gas, and a hand on the wheel. But when your eyes are not looking forward, who's driving your vehicle? Nobody is, in essence. She drifted off the main road that my daughter was on, about 8 feet into the bike lane when she hit my daughter straight on. Erica's little body hit that windshield of her Ford Expedition SUV, which is about a 8,000-pound vehicle. She hit her with that force going 25 miles an hour against my daughter, who's only 90 pounds, going 25 miles an hour. So if you do the math, you take an 8,000-pound vehicle going 25 miles an hour, you impact that against a 90-pound child, what do you think the chances are that she's going to survive something like that? As her body hit the windshield, it cracked it clear across. The whole windshield was cracked. She did a 360 flip backwards in the air, and she landed 15 feet the other direction before she finally hit the concrete. When Erica hit the ground, she broke her brainstem. So she was completely unconscious from the moment she hit the ground. She never did regain consciousness. When we met her at a hospital in Denver, when they Life for Life to the hospital in Denver, and we found her in the room, the doctors told us that that shunt was to relieve the pressure from the impact that I just explained to you that her little body and her little head sustained. The pressure in your head cannot grow to more than a number of 13, I was told by paramedics and doctors, before blood and oxygen could no longer get to your brain to keep you alive. The shunt that they put in her head was to relieve the impact and the pressure that she had sustained. 24 hours after she arrived there, the pressure in her head was never even close to that number. The pressure in her head was 130. 130. Her brain was trying to squeeze out of her head. There was nothing that could be done for her. On Thanksgiving Day, we had to do a brain dead test to see if there was anything left, if there was any signs of life. Even though she had very little internal damage, it was mostly brain damage. And she died on Thanksgiving Day from a brain injury that was 100% preventable. There was one and one only cause, and we lost our daughter on that day. It was a phone call at 3:38 on November 25th that forever impacted and changed my family's lives. Losing my daughter was the kind of experience I never, ever imagined. You know, when you hear statistics and you go, well, that'll never be me. That'll never be my family. Here I am. I'm one of the statistics. My family is a statistic. My daughter became a statistic from something that should have never, ever happened to her. She did nothing wrong. She was literally 15 petals from the whole rest of her beautiful life that was waiting for her. Having gone through this kind of experience propelled us into media attention, and we had people approaching us for an interview and wanting to know what happened to our daughter. And we decided as a family that our story needed to be shared, and that's what started our entire journey into this world of distracted driving and speaking, and what drives me to want to share our story, as hard as it is for me to tell it over and over and over again. I share our story sometimes upwards of 100 times a year. And as you can see, I don't hold back. I tell it as it happened because I want to be real with people. I want them to know that this kind of scenario is happening every single day. We're not supposed to lose our loved ones. And on top of that, we really are not supposed to lose our children. We're supposed to be the ones that go first. And my daughter's life was taken at 9 years and 3 months exactly to the day. On the day that we all celebrate everything we're grateful for, Thanksgiving Day is the day that we had to let her go, and we had to say goodbye to her. hold back when I tell our story because I want people to be moved. I want them to connect with me. I want them to realize that if they don't change their driving habits, that they could be in my very seat or the seat of what it's like to be the driver who hit and killed someone else's loved one, best friend or child. So that's why I do what I do. And that's why I'm here today.
I feel like that's a incredibly moving story, and I know.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, safest station in the nation. You know, I apologize. First of all, we did have technical. We had to reboot the system. We're going to play this thing in its entirety on your LinkedIn. We're also going to play it again on the YouTube. It's a message that has to be heard, and I'll probably play it again tomorrow. I mean, for those of you that listen to this, the pain that Miss Shelley went through is just unbearable. I can't imagine what she went through, how she went through it, how she did it, how she even makes it through the day. But you can see she relives that day. You can see her emotion behind spreading this word about distracted driving. It's real, folks. You know what? We got to take a time to make sure that we do our part to put that phone down, to stay focused on the road. We see videos here on BCB Live of trucks. We showed this one the other day, and these are just random trucks. Nothing crazy. I think it's just another day in transportation. It's another day with a big truck and a car, and it's just a moment, I believe, when you take your eyes off the road. Here we have a video right here in which there's it's a red light, it's a red flashing light. Everybody knows to stop. Everybody's stopping. It's a four-way stop. We get to the stoplight here. You watch this truck, and it just keeps going. I mean, the car stopped. Nothing happened. Again, it was kind of like my story, right? Nothing happened. There's nothing to write home about because nobody got hurt, nobody got killed, and the driver that this video's from, what were they thinking after the fact? I mean, were they sitting there like I was today thinking, my God, I could have killed somebody? I wasn't paying attention. I had slowed down. I did everything. And for some reason, I took my eyes off the road somehow. Somehow, I was unfocused on somehow I had a distraction going on. Maybe my chips had fallen. Maybe my phone had done something. Maybe I had to change that song. But in that one moment, if there's a pedestrian in the walkway, if there's a bicyclist, if there's somebody else's daughter or son riding across this road right here in the in the crossway right here that you see, there it is. They're done. They've been hit. It's distracted driving. I mean, when am I? When are we going to actually make that decision to put that phone down, to at least get rid of that one distraction? Does it happen for you today? Is it a tomorrow thing? Is it a no-cell technology? Can you just not do it? Do you need the help from technology that will block that from you? I think first and foremost with anything, it's a decision that we have to say enough's enough. Today, I'm going to put my distraction away. We're going to be right back with more BCB Live. Listen, we are the safest station in the nation. And it's not that, we're the safest station because we talk about it. We talk real talk. We want us to make a difference. We want you to make that difference. We're going to talk about areas that we all need improvement on. And that's you, it's me, it's all of us. My goodness. I mean, it's a phone. And it took somebody's life. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, BCB Live. We're going to share some videos and go over some things with you here. BCB Live, safest station in the nation.
hot second. Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale sitting on this side of the camera now, and you got Sir Rick running the controls. Hey, we're just going to dive into this week's safety topic. You know, what a powerful video there, Rick. I mean, an interview. Wow. You know, I got a daughter driving home from college this weekend, and you know, before she leaves, I'm going to give her a call and say, hey, put that phone down. You don't need to be distracted on the way. It's just so powerful. Anyway, this week's safety topic is road construction. And staying focused, you know, really ties in because, you know, we have to be focused all the time. We can't be distracted anytime, and it's so much more true or more important even as we get into these work zones. You know, you have to stay focused. Lane closures, traffic pattern shifts, reduced speeds are all common in work zones. So make sure we slow down when entering that work zone. Keep your eye out for workers, you know, and just because it's posted at 55 doesn't mean you have to drive 55 through it. If it feels too fast for you, slow it down some more. You know, just stay focused on it. Make sure we have all the distractions put away, the radio turned off, the phone out of reach before we get in there, so we don't have any temptations for those distractions. So, you know, give them a break. I mean, that's the motto on it. So
yeah, you know, Dale, when you think about the road construction, I think immediately for many of us, especially when they're present, I think we all try to slow down, right?
Yep.
I mean, there's people right there. And the same thing, and I think in general, most of us are in a construction, the lanes are a little thinner. I think maybe we stay less distracted in a work zone in general, I'm just saying. But yet on the road, when there's no construction, when we're in the neighborhood, I think sometimes we feel so comfortable.
Yep.
And what we have to think about, and I think Kenny Ray said it best to me last week or the week before when he said, we are in their place of work.
Yep.
Those construction workers, when we're driving through a construction zone, do you realize we're in their workplace? And in a neighborhood or in a just on your way home on the highway, we're in there with somebody else. They're you know, that's their job. They're going to their work. They're going to school. They're coming home to see you.
Yep.
I think we have to realize that it's not just us. We're in somebody else's life at this moment, and maybe that can help us make that decision. But Dale, I'm going to tell you, no different than when we see these videos that we share, you know, the following too close is this too fast for conditions, going around a curve. You know, we see all these videos that we get. You know what? And we're grateful to be able to get these videos that get sent into us. But it still requires action. All the technology in the world can help. It can help with the speed and the space. It can do all of that. Technology can. It can help you stay off that cell phone too. However, if you don't enable a no cell, if you
That's
don't
right.
enable your car thing to do that, it doesn't matter.
That's right. Or if you turn the volume down on the beep on the lane departure or whatever else, or deactivate or whatever, you know, you're disabling something that works. That's there to help to try and improve us, you know, because sometimes, you know, we want to do it, but our willpower's a little bit weak. We think, oh, we're going to miss a message or something.
Yeah.
And so, you know, disable it, do what it takes.
Is there
Use the
anything
technology.
really? I mean, and again, you know, I know we're all important. We all have a lot of things going on. There's a baseball games we're going to. We're late. We have a dinner. There's emails. And again, this technology has made us so accessible to one another all the time. But is there anything truly that important that it just can't wait?
Nope.
I mean, it's the little things too. And me today, Dale, coming into work, wanting to put my song so I can listen to my. No, I didn't want to listen to the radio. You know, I'm too important to listen to the radio. I got to listen to my playlist. And so for that second and a half is all it took. But I took my eyes off the road. I was not engaged in you know, cognizantly. I wasn't thinking. My hands were off the wheel. My brain was down. I was looking down. And that driver that hit Shelly's daughter just down for a minute in a neighborhood. I wasn't going fast.
No. It's all there.
It's just, it's crazy. And then I showed this video right before we cut in. I want to look at it one more time. And this is that video we see, Dale. And I mean, what do you think? I mean, seriously, I mean, it has to be a distraction.
Yeah,
it has to be.
There has to be something else going on in the cab at that moment for that driver, because I mean, nobody wants to make this type of mistake or roll through a red light. We all know what it means.
Yeah, this is like
there's some
this is like
disconnect.
driving 101. I think my kid. I think we all have learned red light, even as kid, red light, green light. Right? We played that game where we stopped at red light. You had to stop, and yet for some reason during this moment, the video here shows just a drive, probably going 10, 15 miles an hour, had all intentions, I think, knowing back way a little ways back, like right here, I'm sure they knew that it was a red light. They lost track of the light somewhere.
Yep. Just a second or two is all it takes, and that's all it took right here for him to get out in the middle of the
Heads down, my head's up, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The car goes. But how it could have been a different story.
Oh.
It just could have been a different story on that. Let's look at some other videos here. Here we go. We're going to start it off with there's maybe a tanker, distracted, fatigued. We're not sure here, but here we go.
Yeah, and if we watch this tanker ahead of us, look how he gets over onto the shoulder and then pulls it back. And as we watch it a little bit further into it, it's the same thing. So there's something going on in that truck. And whether it's distracted driving, whether it's mechanical, whether it's ill or fatigue, driver needs to recognize that and take action to correct it, get away from it. And I do like the vehicle in the right-hand lane does slow down toward the end of it. We see the brake lights come on, recognizing that, hey, something may be going on ahead with this tanker. Stay back from it. So, just an example of that distracted.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this whole thing right here. I mean, so you have it wants to go in the left lane. We're up on it. Again, I'm going to say what we can't see. That there's a truck broke down on the right side. See the big Warner truck broke down on the side of the road. You have that over there. You have a truck right here. It wants to get in the left lane. You have the truck that we see the video from right now, kind of closing in on him, not letting him in. Is there anything there too? The blinker comes on. Watch this here. Early in the video, the driver in the right lane sees it. Blinker on. Wants to turn over. I think right around here. Let's see. Or did I pass it? Sees it. Okay, yeah, he's on the other side. So there's nothing there. So the driver's going down, sees that. And yes, up ahead you have the tanker kind of all over the place. Just a big old mess right here. This whole thing's just a mess.
Yeah. And like I said, John, this one just caught my eye because we're talking so much about this distracted driving, and something is going on in that truck with that tanker, that driver. And so you just have to recognize it, have to take that step. If you're distracted, put that distraction down. If you're ill or fatigued, you're tired, pull over, get a nap, get out of the truck.
And even if it's windy, right? Let's just say, it's windy out there. I wasn't tired, but you need to slow down.
Yeah.
If you can't control it, you've got to get off the road. If that means you have to stop, you have to stop. If that means you have to reduce your speed by 15, you have to reduce your speed by 15.
Yeah, and if you're going to be late, call your DM, let them know, hey, this isn't safe. I don't feel comfortable. Everybody would rather have that load arrive than not. And arrive alive and in good shape.
All right, we have a little road construction video here. We talked about it before. Hey, we're in their office. Give them a break.
Yeah, and that's just what I put there. There's nothing major going on in here. It's road construction. Just a reminder that this is the construction worker's office. This is their place of business. Respect it. Slow down. Give them the room that they deserve. And the driver does a nice job here slowing down. It's an exit and everything. But just remember that is their office that you're driving through, as Kenny Ray put it. And so give them the respect that they deserve.
Gotcha. Here we go. Stale green light. Here it is.
We're not going fast at all. The stale green light, it changes, and we don't make the decision to stop. We say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go right through this, and by the time we get through, that light is red. We have to stop for these lights. We have to change our mindset on this, and hey, the light's yellow. I've got to stop for it. Intersections are dangerous.
All right, let's pause it right here. So the light's green, Dale, right? I'm not going very fast. I'm driving the truck right now. I'm not going very fast. It turns yellow.
Yep.
Dale, I'm looking to my left. I'm looking to my right. There's nobody coming. So I feel more comfortable in going, but we talk about intersections, and let's just watch this for a second. There's still nobody in there. The decision has been made.
Yep, but let's look off to the left, Rick. There's that building. There's that building there. It's a blind spot. What if there's a bicyclist?
Then look at these other vehicles right here. Look at these trucks that are coming down right here.
Yeah.
If they're a little bit closer, if they're trying to time that light, They're going through it at 55, 50 miles, whatever the speed limit is. They're going through it the other way, timing the lights. And again, why we have to you got to stop at these stale greens. I mean, this is a recipe for disaster. These trucks come in, if they time it right, and if they're a little bit further, and to your point, Dale, you can't see what's over there to your left.
No. Like I said, pedestrian, bicycle, it's that time of year, bicyclists out, kids get in a hurry because they think, hey, I'm the right of way, and they go blasting through there, and this truck, goes through that light. Just have to make that decision to stop.
That's one thing, let me tell you, if you've watched a video here, if you've ever seen anything, you've got to make, this is an easy choice. You just don't go through the yellow light. If you're a four-wheeler, big truck, you don't do it. We've seen how dangerous it is. We've heard the statistics. Listen, when things happen in these intersections, people die. People get hurt really bad. It's yellow light. You can't run it. You're going the speed to be able to stop. Just do that action and stop. Here we got another big picture, a little bit of space coming up here, Dale.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out really good. Driver's got some great space here coming up. And again, I don't know for sure what happened because he starts to slow down, but doesn't slow down fast enough, and doesn't, has to take that out to the other side. That lane in front of you should always be your out. And so we talk about owning that space. And so when something like this happens, that we have that room to stop, to get slowed down so we don't have to go over. Because if somebody else is coming alongside, now we're in the breakdown lane where there may be all kinds of debris, other type of stuff. So, just have to have that big picture, be aware of what's going on, and then get it slowed down. I've said it before, not all hard brakes are bad, Rick. Sometimes we have to brake hard. There wasn't one in this case, and if had there been, it's okay because, we stayed in the lane, we held our lane, we don't deviate.
It's odd, though, we kept gaining on this car.
Yeah.
Even after we knew that the traffic was stopping up ahead, we slow down, we move over to the left. So many wrong about this, and yet we still gain on the car in front of us in the no passing, in this off lane right here. Look at this. We're gaining on it.
Yeah.
What are we after here? What's the game plan here from the driver's side? Space isn't good. Speed's too fast. You must slow down. Something bad. Maybe you're distracted. You got over, and yet you still didn't slow down. You still gained on the vehicles, Dale.
Yeah. You're right. Just a lot to learn from this and to look at it and as a driver, just go, hey, I've got to pay attention. I've got to hold my lane. I've got to slow down. And I don't need to be gaining if I'm out in that passing lane.
Drivers, though, if you're watching this, I mean, we hold the A license. We're the best of the best. This isn't the way we're supposed to be acting out there.
We're professional drivers.
We're professionals.
I mean, that's what it is. And we're professional.
We have
and
an
we need
image
to
to
drive that
uphold.
way.
All right, we have another red light. One coming here. Or red means red. Green means stop. Here we go.
Yeah, this one I just hate looking at a video like this because it is so. I mean, just the decision to go through it is there, made a couple seconds before we got to that intersection. Just goes right through it. And again, we're in a construction zone. That doesn't make it right. Just have to be prepared to stop. And then when the lights get there, stop. That's what it means. That's the law.
Yeah, I'm kind of speechless on his. So drivers, here we go again. Industry, cars, four-wheelers. Why you don't time lights is because of moronic moves like this from the driver. The truck driver right here knows it's red, speeds up, runs through the light anyway.
Yeah,
Thank God that nobody in that other lane was trying to time it, was trying to get that green light perfect.
Or, I'm in that big a hurry. My light's green. I've got to go. We see the vehicles, I believe the blue one right there at the end starts to inch a little bit and probably stops and thinks, oh my God, what if they'd have continued on through that? Maybe they didn't look. Maybe they were distracted. It ends way differently and not in a good way.
So orange, work zone, nothing about it says go faster.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when this, this is construction, this is distracted driving, it's work zone week as well. Nothing about construction zones say go faster. You're in a construction zone. It says slow down. It says stop. Be prepared to stop. There could be workers present. Everything about this says stop, slow down, and then don't ever run a yellow light. But my God, this was red. Red is red.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think of Jet Fosbury, here's your sign. I mean, we have so many signs around us that say, hey, it's time to stop, construction zone, intersection. Here's your sign. Drive professionally. When that light changes, stop. That's what it's there for. Stop. Protect lives.
And you know, I don't. You sit and wonder throughout this. You know, was this part of a distraction? Was there a distraction in that truck as well? That maybe you saw it was green. So you know what? I got nobody's in front of me. What better time right now than to check my phone, to check that message that I get. And then all of a sudden, I didn't realize the light turned yellow and red right in front of me.
Yeah.
Is that a distraction? Do they not even see the light? You know, yes, you watch these videos and my God, I mean, these people here, they need to watch this thing from Shelly. They've got to watch these videos, you know, from Kenny Ray. They need to watch these things. We need to force it. These videos need to be part of anybody's training course, because if it doesn't change your actions, there's something wrong. Dale, this could just be this may just, and again, it could just be a distraction. The person could have just looked at the light, saw it was green, plenty of space, and got on their phone.
Yep. Yeah.
Didn't even see the light till it's too late.
And that may be it too. Maybe, you know, with the lanes changing, you know, maybe that light's new or they reposition or something. Just not an excuse for it. Have to be paying attention to what's going on.
You're driving a truck, you're driving a car, you're driving a vehicle that can kill somebody, hurt somebody, including yourself.
Yep.
You owe it to them. You would mess up the rest of somebody's life if something happens on this. Understand the power. And here's our last video of the day. It's a wrong lane video.
This one is just, I mean, talk about patience and people not, you know, people being the most important. Look at how that car comes around and joins in. And we'll see a second one come up right here at the end of it, I believe, trying to jump in too. And so, I mean, driver does a nice job just waiting it out, being patient and courteous. I mean, this is what professionalism is about. You see what's happening, just back off, let it happen, let it roll off your shoulders, because, you know, cars will be cars, trucks will be trucks. Just got to be patient and courteous and give them the space.
Man, unbelievable.
Somebody didn't know a couple of them didn't know where they were going. Oops, in the wrong lane today. So, I mean, you know, Rick, you talk about that, you know, about that driver going through that red light, and it changes. You could change somebody else's life. It will change your life also. I mean, you will always remember that if you take somebody's life, if you are in an accident, when you hurt somebody, you know, and so you just have to, if you're distracted, put the distractions down. Pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Let's just think this through for a second. I know we're over time. We're going to end this thing real fast. Let's think this through. We all know, everybody knows, that being distracted, being on your cell phone while you're driving, you can't do. I mean, it's just something you can't do. And if you do it and you get into an accident, you kill somebody. I mean, if I were to do that, I mean, how am I not guilty to some degree? You know, to the full degree. I mean, I was on my phone. I was distracted. My eyes weren't on the road. And is it ever worth it? I mean, Dale, you, me, heck, everybody out here watching this, y'all have families.
Yeah.
And if you kill somebody because you're on that phone, if you hurt somebody because you're on that phone, you're going to have to live with that the rest of your life. You are going to have to live with that the rest of your life. And if you kill somebody, I mean, I don't know, maybe you're in jail over a cell phone. Over something that was so freaking important right now that couldn't wait. The rest of your life, you're now in jail over a 10-minute thing to wait, to pull over. That, again, we talk about losing time. If you're on your way home and you pull over and you wait it out, you're only missing out on a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You're not missing out on hours.
No.
I'm preaching to myself. I'm preaching to you. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Help us, Lord. We need your help in this distracted driving. It's real, and it's like it's a drug for us. We can't put it down. Lord, you got to give us the strength to help us put those distractions away, to put that cell phone away, to make that decision, to be a difference maker. Be with these drivers, Lord, when we see these videos, that you give them the ability as well to stay focused on what they do in these big trucks. We need them to be the leaders. They need them to show us four-wheelers how it's done. get us focused more on what we're doing all the time. I know sometimes our minds wander, Lord. At that moment, I ask that you just be with us to get us back in focus at the job at hand. We thank you for sending your son. We ask you to be with this crazy, crazy country, this crazy, crazy world, Lord. Just put a little bit of love back into this. Help us put a little bit of love. Give us that ability to pass it forward. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you for watching BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless. Stay off that phone. We're going to play that distracted video again with Shelly this afternoon. Watch it. Okay? Watch it and listen. Watch it, watch it, watch it, and make a difference. God bless. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.